Okay, welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina.
I'm Jessie.
So today we're reacting to this guy. We all remember this guy.
The dude with a rack. It's like really, really confusing. I see someone like this walking past me sometimes when I'm doing things throughout my life. And one of my associates has asked me at one point or another, is that a man or a woman? And I looked at the person, I said, honestly, dude, I don't know. This one's definitely a dude.
Yeah, usually if you don't know, it's usually a dude.
No, this one's definitely a dude. I mean, I don't know about the one that I'm talking about outside of here, but this one has a penis.
Yeah, he does.
On men who genuinely identify as lesbian had so many folks in the comments saying, I thought lesbian meant non-man loving non-man. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to discuss the difference between decentering men and excluding men. In short, decentering men is a practice by which we prioritize a diversity of thoughts, experiences, and perspectives in order to improve a society that has too long prioritized only the concerns of men to all of our detriment. But decentering men isn't about removing anyone from the conversation. It's about shifting men into the audience, to be listeners. Men are also victims of patriarchy. From birth, they're fed a toxic idea of gender they can only live up to by being toxic themselves. Despite being born with a microphone, they are by design withheld the language needed to vocalize ways to dismantle patriarchy, which is why the microphone must be taken from them and given to someone from whom they can learn and discover what it means to actually be or not be a man. If we exclude...
I'm sorry, there's so many things I have to say already. I thought I'd let it slide and just keep going, but I can't. The whole men are victims of patriarchy. No, you can't say that. There are some men who have failed in the patriarchy. There are some men who have not succeeded in the patriarchy, but men are not also victims. Men are usually the primary breadwinners of the patriarchy. The failed men are the victims of patriarchy. The failed men are the ones who degrade women and say that men need to be included with them. The failed men...
But how are they victims of the patriarchy?
They're not.
Oh, I thought you just said that.
They're not victims. They've been hurt, but they're not victims. They're hurt because they're not on top. The patriarchy allows...
Yeah, they ain't victims of nothing.
No, they're not victims. They're just not the main breadwinners. So they feel like they've been victims, but they're not. But they are just like weak-minded people. To say that you should be included with women because you're trying to learn from them. No, you're not, bro. You're just trying to get on top of the bottom. You've been on the bottom for so long, you're just trying to come back to the top. This is exactly what I said when I was making that Charlie Kirk circle, remember?
Yeah.
When I said that men feel lesser than women because we've told them that women are so superior. Yeah. So men are trying to be women so they can be back on top.
That's
That's why trans women are so much like more superior in their opinion.
Yeah.
Because they want to be back on top.
And because society's so stupid, they go along with it.
Exactly. And then he went on to say that he wants to learn from women. They be included. He wants to learn from... No, you want to take it over.
You don't want to learn
That's
anything.
why if you actually wanted to learn from women, you'd shave the beard. I'm not trying to be a dick. If you're trying to transition...
Yeah.
If you're trying to appear to be someone of the opposite gender that you were born as, which is what a transgender, transsexual person does.
Yeah.
No one disagrees with me, right? Then why did you leave the beard? Because you just want people to be irritated when they look at you. You want to not let go of your manhood and take over womanhood. Why else would you leave the beard?
I'm going to be a dick and say this guy looks absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
So freaking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say that he doesn't. But where's the trans? This is 100% AGP.
Absolutely. Autogynephile. A guy who gets turned on by wearing women's clothing.
And you can say that, yeah, that's also true because they say it's under the trans umbrella, 100%, sure, if that's what you want to go with. But it doesn't make you identify as a woman. You are turned on by the idea of looking like a woman. You're appealed to the idea of people seeing you like that.
He's not turned on by the idea of him looking like a woman. He don't look like no woman. He's turned on by wearing women's clothing.
Yeah.
To wear the skin of women, not to embody what a woman is.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Is he doesn't have any respect for women.
Absolutely
He's not trying to learn from women.
Nope.
Because if he was, he'd be getting the laser treatment that plenty of trans women who actually want to look like a woman get. And there are some really attractive trans women out there. I'm not saying I'd hit it. I'm just saying there are some trans women that have done a lot of work to have earned the title of trans woman, but to be addressed as she, her. It's not because people look at them and they don't, like, they see more feminine traits and it makes their brain say woman. They know that this woman has a penis, but it looks more like a woman than a man. You don't see that here. You do not see, you are not getting she, her. You know why? Because the beard.
Because the everything.
But the beard is 100% the beard. Like, you're not an attractive person by any standard. But if you didn't have the beard and mustache, you'd at least look like you're trying. Even Lily Tino doesn't have the beard and mustache.
Yeah. This guy is just a cross-dresser. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what cross-dressers
100%.
look like. That's what cross-dressers do.
A cross-dresser who might have gotten boobs.
Either way.
That doesn't make
Richard
this person
Speck got
trans.
boobs in prison. Did it make him trans? No. It was the only way he could get out of not being killed in prison. So he got the tits.
I don't think this has anything to do with not getting killed, but I do think this has to do with, like, a weird mental image and how you want people to look at you and how you want people to talk about you. It's like an identity crisis.
I'm trying to say that just because a guy gets tits doesn't mean that he's trans or he
I don't
thinks
believe
he's
this guy is trans.
There was a guy, maybe like a decade ago or maybe a little bit longer, who lost a bet and actually got boobs put on him. And he was supposed to keep them for a year. And I think he kept them for longer than that.
It sounds like a fantasy football bet. I heard of a really funny one just this past week. They said whoever loses fantasy football has to go to the sperm bank and donate. And then they have to check, can contact me on the box.
Oh.
Talk about a lose.
Okay, let's continue on with his TED Talk.
In the auditorium, how can they ever see what's on stage? Now, understanding lesbians such formulaic terms as non-man loving non-man is actually still centering men. I mean, look, it's right there, non-man. What amounts to basically a no man allowed sign ends up uniting people under a shared act of exclusion informed by the worst definition of man, rather than a celebration and sharing of what people enjoy about their crafted identity. The worst instances of this are man-hating lesbians and gold star lesbians, both badges of honor that make a disdain for an entire gender, be it chosen or not, central to their identity. People deserve to have a space without men, many commenters said. Again, as if they had no men.
Sorry, what about lesbians and non-men and
So he is saying that we're degrading him and other people by saying that we only want a gold star lesbian or a non-man loving lesbian. And I guess from your perspective, it's excluding someone, but it's the same thing that straight. And this is why, and this is the same argument of I can turn you. You just haven't had a good one yet. It's the same argument. You're just saying that we haven't tried it yet, or that you're ignoring the parts that matter. That someone loves someone. No, that's not the parts that matter. If you want to get into that level, let's talk about marriage. Okay, marriage stuff, sure, you should love the person you marry, but when it comes to, like, fucking...
Sexuality is exclusive.
Yeah, 100%.
Straights exclusively date the opposite sex. Gays exclusively date the same sex. It's exclusive. You're going to be excluding somebody. If you can't handle it, I don't give a flying fig.
Yeah, and if you're in a midlife crisis, or if you're usually in your late teenage years, that's when you start to maybe experiment and discover what you like and don't like. And at that time, maybe you won't be a gold star lesbian. You're not quite yet a man-hating lesbian because you're not sure if you are a lesbian. There's that point in everyone's life. Like I said, usually midlife crisis or when you're hitting college. But that doesn't mean that a lesbian isn't a lesbian because she one time in high school slept with her boyfriend and then realized she hated it. You know what I mean? Dating is exclusionary, like you said. Mm-hmm. Every single time. Straight people are exclusionary. Straight women only date straight men. Well, maybe they'll date a bi man, but the point is that the man's sexuality matches with her sexuality. He has heterosexual tendencies at the least, so she's heterosexual, so it works. Bisexuals can date a lesbian or a gay man, whereas gay men will only date usually other men who are gay or bisexual, and same goes with women. It's not rocket science. If anything, it's something very elementary that we all learned.
No men allowed sign magically bars men from entry or makes a space safe from toxic behavior. This is why I compare this thinking to the trans bathroom arguments. As much as we'd like to exist in spaces that autonomously curate safety like a warding spell, enforcement of those spaces always falls on us. This means all of us collectively developing the emotional intelligence to welcome curious people, while also detecting and ejecting obviously bad faith actors. Men who troll about being lesbian don't need to be taken seriously any more than those who troll about being attack helicopters. A number of commenters seemed under the impression that lesbian bars are places where men aren't allowed, and again, that's not true, and I urge you to think about how that would immediately fall apart. Putting aside the entire category of butch, how do you identify a man without them telling you? The more you try to exclude...
We have eyes. It's called We Have Eyes. Also, women are great detectors of men.
I'm going to go back to that beard. I'm going to go right back to that beard.
No, if something's a little off.
I'm going to go right back to that beard.
About a lady. We can tell. Women are great at it. Men, not really. That's why you'll see a lot of guys getting into bed with women and finding out that that lady has a penis. And women are like, well, how the hell did you not know? Well, because they don't need to have that sixth sense where you have to detect if there's danger around. And if there's a man you don't know who's around, that's a little signal of danger. You gotta be careful. And so women have honed throughout the centuries this little sixth sense of knowing when there's a man in the room that they don't know.
Even beyond that, 2 B's, beard and bulge, man. Beard and bulge. It's not hard to tell.
And we ain't normalizing no bulge.
Women have camel toes, men have bulges. And yeah, you can wear a pretty flowy dress, but you have like a broader chest, wider shoulders, taller people in general.
Isn't it a moose knuckle? Is that what they call them?
I think that's the same thing. They just use different animals and different body parts. Camel toe, moose knuckle.
I just don't understand what the point of this fit. Like, what is his point?
I think he's trying to tell us we're wrong.
Okay. So where we left off is that unless a man tells you he's a man, you won't know about it.
So non-man loving non-man is wrong because man is in there.
Okay.
But if we put man in spaces, that's right. So in our words, it can't be non-man loving non-man. But in our spaces, it has to be non-man loving non-man. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting. Is the words can't be focused on men because you're putting so much of the onus on men. The word should be woman still. You just need to identify us as women. That's what I'm gathering so far. If you have something else that you've gathered, let me know. I'm using all of my brain power to try and figure this out, and I don't know why. Also, no hate. I love Alex Bale, and this guy reminds me of Alex Bale.
Based on, what, appearances? The more you feed into turf logic, the more that space becomes poisoned by transphobia, and, oh no, you've undermined the very thing you set out.
Hold on, I have to go back.
A category of butch. How do you identify a man without them telling you? The more you try to exclude based on, what, appearances? The more you feed into turf logic, the more that space becomes poisoned by transphobia, and, oh no, you've undermined the very thing you set out to create.
We didn't set out to create spaces where men and women could just be all together on top of each other.
It's called a bar.
We didn't set out. We set out to have equal rights. That doesn't mean equal spaces. That doesn't mean everyone can go wherever they want, whenever. That doesn't mean you get to go into a school and sit through the 5th grade class. That's not what we wanted. That's not true equality. That's not true freedom. If anything, that's predatory behavior. Every bit of this you're asking for is predatory behavior. Just say that you need to go into our spaces. This is what you wanted. This is what you need. This is what you want. You're going against what you wanted. No, women literally wanted their own spaces, their own jobs, their own houses, to be able to have their own kids. If they're being beat by their husband, they want people to divorce him and people to afford to live on their own with their children. That's what women wanted, not freaks like you saying that you belong in our space, that you should be at our clinics, that you have a vagina and that you menstruate. That's not what we wanted. That's never what we wanted. That's what you want, cuckoo. Did I hit it? Did you have anything to add?
You're feeding into turf logic if you base someone's sex based on their appearance. That's feeding into turf logic. But it's not just appearance. It's how they talk, how they carry themselves, their voice, the size of their head and hands, how tall they are.
The amount of facial hair.
There's a lot of things that go into it. And a lot of that is appearance, but that's turf logic? Like, is that supposed to, like, offend somebody?
I'm sorry, but I thought the whole point of Changing your gender was to change your fucking appearance, to change how you look so that other people see you and think what you look like on the outside matches what you feel on the is that not what they say? What I look like on the outside matches how I feel on the inside?
Something like that.
So you feel crazy on the inside? Because you look crazy on the outside.
Probably. He's just going and going and going.
And it makes no sense.
I've sometimes wondered why lesbian men are always the subject of discourse and not gay women, and just think about why. First, trans women who more closely align with gay culture and prefer to date gay men 1,000% exist, but because of societal double standards, we don't view a woman identifying with a man-dominated space as a threat to that space, nor does society actually care about the safety of that trans woman. Mass panic about women and children's safety is only acceptable when used to demonize the oppressed. I refer you to how the bathroom panic actually imperils all women, yet...
I'm not sure what he just said.
Demonize the oppressed. But wait, so women, this guy's so fucking confusing. So women and children, they want to be safe in spaces that are male exclusionary. And
They made these spaces to be male exclusionary to feel safe.
And because of that, you are demonizing a minority, which is just a guy who says he's a lady.
Apparently.
It's a guy who says he's a lady. So, yeah, I don't care. See, this is the thing. You can call yourself a grapefruit. I don't care. You're still a guy parading around as a grapefruit. You still shouldn't be in women's spaces. You shouldn't be in little kids' spaces. I don't care who it's offending. I don't care who it's scrutinizing or putting them down. Like, I don't care. Because the most vulnerable in society are the handicapped, they're the women, and they're the children.
And the elderly.
And the elderly, yes. Men shouldn't be in women's spaces. Men, just because you say, like, if a man says he's a lady, all of a sudden he's in a minority. It's really crazy how that works. A man can say a sentence, and all of a sudden he's in a minority, and he's being oppressed by women who don't want him in their space. Oppressed? For real? Like, how crazy do you have to be in order to actually believe that you are being oppressed by women?
Well, I'm going to say it again. Do the work. If you don't want the criticism, do the work. Do the work. Because if I was a trans man, I would dress. I would never wear necklaces unless they were like super masculine, chains and stuff. I would wear no dresses ever. I wouldn't go out with a beard and a dress and sit there and say, no, I'm a man. Well, obviously looking like I'm trying to be a woman. And there are plenty of people who do that. And I don't understand why you can't sit there and say that you identify with the opposite gender so strongly, yet you show up as the gender you were born as. Honey, that's a detransitioner. I'm so sorry, but that's going to be a date. I'm so convinced that'll be a date transitioner.
Isn't he upholding the patriarchy by having this beard?
100%.
So-
He's upholding his manhood. It's a part of him he can't let go.
Yeah, so obviously you're not all in on the trans thing.
Or else you wouldn't have the... And that's why I keep bringing it back, man. Bringing it back. You will one day no longer wear those women's clothing. And yes, you might have some little fun sacks on your chest, but you'll probably get them removed.
And they don't look like women's boobs.
The only reason he hasn't yet is because it's still trendy. He's still trendy. He's getting all this attention, which is why I hate this guy more. I hate him more than Lily Tino, because Lily Tino will go out to get more attention. This guy just talks in his room. That's why I hate him more. Lily Tino's seeking the negativity. This guy is also, but like in the smallest way possible.
The dumbest people are the ones that think they're the smartest. And this guy oozes that. He acts like he's smart. He talks like he's smart. And those are the dumbest people.
Yeah.
And he's a dum-dum.
Actually imperils all women. Yet, in the example of the UK Supreme Court ruling, it was all done in service of the lesbian community. It's a misinformed obsession about safety that only drives us further into policing identities, which isn't the solution.
This guy is not a woman. He has no idea what it's like to feel unsafe around some dude you don't know. So, since he's not a woman, he doesn't have that experience. So if you don't have that experience, you can't call it misinformation because you don't know what it's actually like. And the facts and statistics and history say there's a reason why women feel uncomfortable around strange men. That's not misinformation. That's not trying to shut down a minority. No, that's reality. That's reality. If women are uncomfortable, or like the book, The Gift of Fear, right? Oprah was all like, Gift of Fear, Gift of Fear. Good book, right? Mm-hmm. It pretty much says that women, if she feels uncomfortable, she's alone and she feels uncomfortable because there's like some strange guy she doesn't know around her. It doesn't matter what he identifies as or what he looks like. If she feels uncomfortable, it is completely valid.
Justified.
Completely justified. It's not misinformation. And the worst thing she can do is be like, oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't feel bad. This is misinformation. No, that's the last thing she can do because she's putting herself in harm's way because you don't know that person. You don't know that guy. And 10 times out of 10, that man is going to be able to physically dominate her and do whatever the hell he wants. The only thing she's hoping for is that he's not a bad guy. But do you really want to take that chance as a woman? Absolutely not.
When we had Vicky on for our longer video, she admitted that happened to her. Mm-hmm. And it's really sad to hear because it happens often. You feel like you shouldn't be the asshole. So you decide that you're just going to continue doing what you're doing. And that fear, as much as there are times it may seem irrational and nothing happens, the one time that something could happen is the time you're going to wish you had it the most. And that's why a lot of people say have a greater awareness of your surroundings. Men have told me that my entire life. It was a Ted Nugent thing. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have a awareness of your greater surrounding. And it's the best advice. And yes, it's a man talking to other men. But as a woman, my entire life, that's something I've held true. And that's something I think a lot of women hold true. And they don't even realize that there's a little saying for it. Because they're used to being scared. They're used to feeling weak. And if you've ever been assaulted, especially by a man, you probably have an instinct whenever you're around a man, especially one who's getting angry. So with someone who's clearly emotionally unhinged, someone who might be taking cross-sex hormones that'll mess with their emotions, I'm going to stay as far away as possible. And I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful. I'm concerned for my safety.
And our safety trumps your feelings.
Because at the end of the day, you can hurt us.
And you could say it's misinformation, just like you could say you're a lady. Both are bullshit. It's better to be safe than sorry. For women, it's better to be safe than sorry.
100%.
Do you really want to take that chance over some person you don't know because you're afraid of hurting their feelings? Well, are you more afraid of hurting their feelings or are you more afraid of getting attacked? Because I'd be more afraid of getting attacked. So I don't give a flying fig about the feelings of some stranger I don't know. Because my safety matters more than whatever the hell he feels in the moment, whatever the hell this guy feels in the moment, which is probably a lot of anger towards women.
Policing identities, which isn't the solution. As society plunges deeper into fascism, it's no surprise that people desperately cling to the idea of a magical warding spell. We are all craving security and accountability at a time when there isn't any. Exclusion can feel instantly gratifying, but here's the thing. Reducing identity to textbook definition.
This is how you know that this guy is absolutely retarded. Exclusion can feel instantly gratifying. No, you frickin' dumbass. Oh my God. It's like, I would rather talk to a turd. Exclusionary, you're excluding men from your spaces. It's not gratifying. You're not getting some like turned on feeling from it. You're not getting some yes feeling from it. You're feeling relief. A lady feels relief when she can exclude men from her spaces where she's incredibly vulnerable. There's the difference. This creep thinks it's gratifying and justifying. No, it's safety. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a sigh. I can finally feel safe and comfortable
relief.
Without this freaking creep staring over my shoulder while I'm in the bathroom.
It's genuinely just safety and relief.
Yeah, but these guys don't get it because they're not women. No matter how many times they say they're women, they ain't women, and they're not even trying. They're not even trying to
The beard.
Like, listen, if I wanted to be a great painter, what would I do?
Paint?
I would research. I would look at other painters. I would talk to painters. I would try to understand where they're coming from to really get into the mindset of being a painter.
You'd also put your brush into paint and put it on a canvas. And that's what this guy isn't doing.
You'd put the work in.
He can look up and talk to and have conversations with as many trans individuals as he wants to. As soon as he grabs a razor and shaves off the beard, he will gain a scent a cent, not a lot, but a cent of respect from me. Because at least then you start to look the part. At least then you start to paint. You start to wanting to be a great painter. You can talk to people. You can have the conversation. You can study it. But until you're doing it, you're not going to be a great painter because you don't have anything. You're not painting. You're not transitioning.
My point is that he is not trying. How I know for a fact this guy's not transgender is because not only is he not doing any of the outside work, he ain't doing shit on the inside either. Because he's still talking at you like he's a fucking dude who knows better than women. And he's trying to tell women, lesbians specifically, how they should feel, how they think, how they react, and what they should do about it. And how everything they think and do is pretty much wrong in his eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you just told me a whole bunch of crap about yourself that makes me completely disrespect you and not like you at all. Because you're not even trying to understand what it's like to be a woman, to be in the mindset of a woman, to understand what a woman actually feels like. No, you're being an arrogant asshole in trying to tell us how we feel and how it's wrong, when that's exactly not how we feel at all.
Welcome to Mansplaining with a trans woman.
This isn't even a trans woman.
A bearded trans woman.
This is cross-dressing mansplaining. That's what this is.
Won't that get us our title demonetized?
What? Because he's cross-dressing?
Yeah.
Saying cross-dressing is demonetizable?
I don't know. Let us know, YouTube.
Exclusion can feel instantly gratifying, but here's the thing. Reducing identity to textbook definitions and internalizing rigid thinking exports the responsibility of enforcing safety to broken institutions we don't control, like cops or social media algorithms. Exclusion is a fear-based tactic, a quick fix that feels like...
You got that damn right. Exclusion is, in this instance, fear-based. Yes. And it's not... Like when these guys are like, oh, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Why would you fear a man? Have you heard of the word rape? Have you? Because 3 out of 4 women have been sexually assaulted by, you guessed it, men. Yeah. Majority of women have been sexually assaulted by men. And
Is
what
it
do you
really
think
that
that
high?
is? It is. Yes, it is. I've done a lot of research on it.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, holy crap.
It's absolute. Yes, it's crazy.
That's 75% of women.
Yeah, and that's only the ones who have talked about it. We're not even adding in the ones who haven't mentioned it, who haven't told anybody about it.
Did you report anyone to anyone when your situation? As someone who has been sexually assaulted, I did not report my sexual assault ever.
Exactly. So you wouldn't even be included. How many people who have been sexually assaulted don't talk about it? It's way more than the women who have actually talked about it.
I guess my point is,
right? So it's actually way higher.
Yeah. What's the true statistic? Is it actually 90% of women?
It's probably 90% of women. Absolutely.
That's really sad.
Every woman who watches this right now, every man who watches this right now, at least knows one woman who has been sexually assaulted.
It's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, we're doing it for safety reasons. We're being exclusionary for safety reasons, and it's not ridiculous because we have a lot of history to back up our reasoning. You dig?
Yes.
Community building, but it's actually isolating, and it won't save us. My last
I don't want to save you, sir. I don't want to save you.
We're going to save you. Just follow us to this little mental hospital, and you'll be saved.
Yeah. If any guy listens to him and takes him seriously, he should really rethink his entire existence. Because
Well, he's not talking to guys. He's talking to women.
Right. But a lot of these guys who think they're women, who are just dressing up like women, they think like this. And it's absolutely unhinged. It's like, not only do you not live in reality to acknowledge that you're a biological man, but you're also not living in reality
Ever.
Ever. You don't understand history. You don't understand women. You don't understand how society, how assaults happen. All of it. He thinks he's so smart that he's absolutely stupid. Dumb of dumb, retard of retard. This guy embodies all of the bad. He embodies everything I dislike about the gender crap. He embodies all of it. And these are the kind of people who are the spokespeople for the T's and the Q's.
The entire gender ideology.
Which is why the LGs and the Bs had to be like, I can't do this with you. We can't do this with you. You live on another freaking planet. You don't live in the world that we live in. You don't live in the society we live in. You live in like some
Cuckoo
other
land.
freaking universe where what you believe to be true is true. And anyone who believes otherwise is, to you, a bad person. But here's the thing. We don't care. And we never will. And we don't care if you don't like that.
Pretty
because
simple.
we, women, we're 50% of the population. Y'all are, what, 1%? So my facts, the reality that we live in, that will dominate you and your crazy delusions every time.
Well, also, the thing is that the only people who are on your... The real men aren't on your side. It's the men who do the things like what happened with Charlie Kirk. Those are the people that are going to defend you. So, like, congrats. Like, you reproduce aggressive people who are going to do violent things. That's the ideology you're sponsoring right now. If you put a little more effort in and didn't say some wackadoo stuff, you'd probably be okay. But I don't like this. This guy's weird.
I have to correct myself. People like him aren't 1%. 1% are trans, right?
Yeah, I'd say that probably 1% is accurate to the people who are actually suffering.
Right. And then there's the other ones, which are like 0.0001%. So out of the 1%, he's the crazy part of that 1%.
Yeah.
That's off in another world. Because not too long ago, maybe like 15 years ago, transsexuals, they lived in reality. They just had some stuff going on in the dome piece.
So they presented differently. It helped them out mentally.
Yeah.
You're not achieving mental health. If anything, you're just causing more mental duress.
You're reaffirming your own crazy and expecting other people to buy into your baloney.
Not only buy into it, but endorse it. Support it. Scream it from the rooftops.
And it's not going to happen. You might be able to fool a few ladies here and there because they're woke,
And they feel
retarded
bad.
individuals who you can
Emotionally blackmail into sleeping with you.
manipulate emotionally. I mean, you could probably do that for a little bit, but eventually those ladies do wake up. And then they realize, wow, I'm really freaking stupid to have even put myself in a room with this crazy person. And that's how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? Do you think this guy is sane? Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, join our memberships, and we will see you in the next one.
I hope you get to BBL at Exclusion.